Today, we are going to have our friends coming in throughout our time today. We have a lovely panel session for you. Welcome to the, I've been here for the duration of the school year, and it's good to meet many of you today and learn with you with our panel today. The purpose of today is to talk about connection to agencies in the community, to ease the transition process and help you pick up where you are in that process. We want to bring information to you. We want to make sure that you are tooled for this path with the right people to do the next steps for your family. Okay? We are going to have an introduction of our panel so that you can know who is here today to share and impart some wisdom. How's that sound? Right? We have 4 different agencies here today. We have Texana Center from Adult Services, and I'll let you know who's here today, and then we'll have an introduction with each of them. We have Texana Center here today. We also have Texas Workforce Commission, Employment and Vocational Support. We have Brazos Bend and Guardianship. We're going to talk about guardianship and alternatives to guardianship. We also have Molina Healthcare, which they have information about Medicaid and insurance support. So I'm going to pass the mic. We are sharing the mic today, but we will do our best and get you guys the information you came for, okay?
So my lovely picture, which is not up there, my name is Joyce Leverance. I'm the vocational rehab supervisor for the Rosenberg State Vocational Rehab Office. Our location has 14 staff, the most counselors. We also work with individuals who have blind or visual impairments, brain injuries, and also hearing impairments, not just general customers that come in. We serve ages 14 through up, a large portion of it being pre-employment transition services.
Hello, I'm Beth Duncan. I'm with Texana Center. Texana Center has multiple services across a range of diagnoses and needs. I oversee several programs, and what I'll probably focus on today are the services we provide to folks transitioning out of high school. We have social skills clubs, we have classes that are offered year-round on a semester basis. The classes are available both in person at our Fulshire location, and some classes are offered online. The social skills clubs are offered at our Fulshire location, our Rosenberg location, and also online. And we have a table here today, so please come visit us.
Good morning. I'm Kurt Monroe. I'm the Executive Director with Brazos Bend Guardianship Services, and we cover all of Fort Bend County. We offer 2 key services for families. We offer free adult guardianship information sessions that are held usually about 9 months out of the year, and we do them either by Zoom or in person. And these sessions are designed to help educate families such as yourself about the process to obtain guardianship. And we also talk about alternatives to guardianship. An attorney helps me facilitate that session because I'm not an attorney, so I can't give you legal advice. But I am a Texas certified guardian and have been serving in the role of guardian since 2009. That's one of the programs our agency provides. We are appointed by the courts to serve as the legal guardian for the incapacitated adult when there's no family that's willing or able to serve in that role. And we are guardian to about 62 adults here in Fort Bend County, and most of them are adults with intellectual developmental disabilities. So we're very familiar with the IED programs that are available for adults, especially the home community-based services program. And we also have clients out of the Richmond State Support Living Center. And then the other program we provide for families is our Guardianship Financial Assistance Program. The average cost to get guardianship is about $3,500 for some families that is cost prohibitive. So we're able to help families up to 200% above the poverty level. So if they qualify, they get an $1,800 grant. We have some attorneys who agree to do the guardianship at that rate of $1,800.
Good morning.
My name is Joanne Sweet. I am the Community Engagement Specialist of Molina Healthcare in Texas. I also the certified community health worker. So my role is mostly connect with the community, the family, to give out the resources to help you to close the gap in the healthcare. So Molina Healthcare in Texas, we actually celebrate 20-year anniversary in Texas. We are called managed care organization because we contract with government to provide the health care for the family who qualify for government benefit, including Medicaid, CHIP, and also the IPT population. So the specialty of Medicaid is when you are specialty individual, you need help. We normally after you got approved for Medicaid government, you're gonna choose a health plan. And the health plan, for example, in Molina Healthcare, we're gonna represent the government to help the family connect with different resources. We have a case manager in the side, do all kind of assessment and help the family navigate the resources and the services in healthcare. So thank you so much for having me here today. I also have a table outside to help you more resources on Medicaid as well as the transition. When your children turn 21, what do you need to prepare in order to still continue get the government benefit and all other resources? So again, welcome to all here today, and hopefully we're going to receive more. This is more like just the connection. So feel free to have an open conversation and ask the questions. So we hope that we can answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just to give you a little bit of information about the order of events today and this time, we have about an hour with our panel today. We're going to have some time where they're answering questions as a group. We will also give time and space for you to ask questions that could potentially help the group as well. And then from there, we do have some door prizes that you might be interested in today. So we'll make sure that those are given. We have door prizes throughout the entire day. And after that, we will have you be dismissed to take a look at the tables and engage with vendors. Okay. So the first question that I want to put out there to the panel is, transition can feel very big to families. We use the word transition to mean very different things, and we use it a lot. We overuse it sometimes. So when should families connect with your agency specifically, and how do they do that initially? Anybody?
Yes, I'm going. So, we would love to see customers from the age of 14. And the reason for that is, why would state VR, if you're asking, and we're working on employment, why would we want to work with students who are 14? We want them to get to know them, to have them exposed to different careers, different paths, and counsel them through high school, along with having them participate in pre-employment transition services, which can be at the school or can be outside the school. We have summer camps every year. We have camps during the fall, winter. So we want to get the customers as soon as we can at age 14. Typically how that's done is the referral is sent to us either from the special education individuals at the schools. I have 2 transition counselors. That's all they do is they work with students at the campuses. So we have 2 that cover the Fort Bend area. So we want to see them as early as possible. What we don't want to happen is to have a student come to us a month before high school graduation asking us to pay for college. We don't know them. We have not been able to provide any educational services to them about what's out there, what other options there are. So we want to see them as early as 14.
Access to Texana is easy as calling one of our phone numbers. My phone number is out there at the table, so feel free to come by and pick up one of my cards. Go to the website and call. One of the bits of advice is to say, and again, this is as early as diagnosis. We have early childhood intervention, multiple programs for young folks, for teens, for adults. So if you're experiencing issues behaviorally or psychiatrically, definitely a time to call Texana and ask, what do you have for me? Here's my situation. One of the things I find really helpful to advise people on is call with here's my scenario. Here's the age of my person, here's what's going on, the difficulties we're experiencing, what do you have for me? Because there are a lot of different programs, and I get a lot of phone calls, and people start off with, yes, I had a friend tell me to call Texana. Okay, I'm glad you called today. How can I help? Well, I'm calling you to ask what you can do. Well, okay, give me a little more information. Well, I have a 14-year-old with autism. Okay, tell me a little bit more about what are you having challenges? So be ready with your scenario. Just, are there challenges? Are there behavioral concerns? Are there concerns about employment? Are there concerns about what they're going to do after graduation? So if you have that lined up and you make a phone call to Texana saying, this is my person, this is their diagnosis, these are the issues I'm looking to have help with, somebody will get you to the right number if you're not calling me directly. If you call me directly, I will do my best to answer your questions or get you to the person who can answer their questions.
I encourage families to wait until their child's about 17 to attend one of our information sessions. And the reason I encourage you to wait is because, as you know, the Texas legislature meets every other year. And just about every year, they pass laws that affect guardianship in some way. And so I would hate for you to attend one when they're 14, 15, and then they make some kind of change. The earliest an application can be filed with the court is when your child is 17 and a half. But no, here in Fort Wayne County, the courts will not hear the case until your child turns 18. Plus, you have to obtain what's called a certificate of medical examination. We also call it the doctor's letter. That is the only piece of medical evidence that's used in a guardianship application process. That doctor's letter has a time limit on it. When the doctor does the assessment, they put the date on there. The doctor's letter is only good for 4 months.
We're gonna get creative and share one microphone.
That doctor's letter is only good for 4 months or 120 days from the date the doctor does the assessment. So again, like I said, I encourage you, you're always very welcome to attend our sessions. Like we have about 9 of them out of the year, and you can always find when the next session is by going to our website and you look for the word services and then choose information sessions, and you'll see when the next session's coming up. I do have a booth here today, and for example, we have a session coming up this month on Monday, April 27th, and that one's going to be in person at the Cinco Ranch Library in Hager.
Yeah, so when we talk about transition, it's the long run, and that's what we call pathway to transition, because it's not just one thing you need to do, it's a long process, and it's require you a lot for planning, right? And for Medicaid, it's a government benefit that apply for all ages, not just people like children, not just adult, senior. Is if you qualify, it's gonna be for your long life, and so when we look at that, like I have children, I know that how people go through the whole different milestone, right? So the same with family. Like when we look at healthcare benefit, we also have to look different age. They're gonna have different program for government benefit, and then different age group, we're gonna have different planning to prepare to get ready for it. For example, like if you IDD and you don't have any health insurance yet, what do you need to do? For example, right now, if your children is under your insurance health plan, it's kind of easy, right? But when he become independent, if you turn 18, then what else do you think can prepare? So that's when we talk about the transition in the healthcare services and benefits. We talk more about the planning. What can you do to prepare? For example, like get on the Medicaid waiver list. You know, like in Texas, in order to get the government benefit, you have to apply. It's not like automatically, they're not gonna just knock on your door and give it to you. Everything you have to apply. And not just that, not just only you, they have a lot of people have a demand on that. So you have to be in the waiting list. And that's a step, but not many family are aware of that. So you need to get on the waiting list. And then in Texas, sometimes it even take longer than other states, sometimes in 10 years, 12 years, or 15 years sometimes. So you know, need to get, for that step, it is as soon as possible. You don't need to wait until how old you need to, if you need that benefit, you need to get on the list first. And then when your child turns 18 or 21, if they already have the Medicaid, and when they're 21, the Medicaid going to transition to a different program. You also need to prepare for that, choose different health plan for that. And I know it's kind of overwhelming. That's why we have, like the government assigned the health plan like Molina Healthcare. So we have like navigator, we have care coordinator, so we connect you with the resources you need. You're not gonna be alone. So don't feel overwhelmed and worry about that. But at least you prepare in your mind what else you can do to get ready for this long process. Yeah, hope that answered the question.
Yes, and our goal today is not to overwhelm you. Our goal is to give you just a little bit of information to begin asking the next questions to help you on your path as you support your students through adulthood. So we talked about guardianship a little bit, and I didn't quiz the panel before this, but I was wanting to see if there was anybody that could speak to a little bit about the difference in guardianship and supported decision-making in adults. Is anybody ready for that?
I'll take that. All right, so Texas does offer what's called a supported decision-making training. Texas was the first state to offer this as an alternative to guardianship. It is designed for those that are higher functioning, meaning that they need to be able to legally understand what they're signing. The sport decision-making agreement is where your child, once they turn 18, they can name each of their parents or both their parents as what's called supported decision makers. And they also decide what areas they would like for you to help them make decisions in. That can be education, that can be medical care, that can be deciding where to live, helping with finances. And when they name you as a supported decision maker, that then gives you, let's say, for example, they want help with education decisions. So they're still in school. By naming you as a supported decision maker, you're allowed to go into an ARD meeting and hear what's being presented to them. And then you as the parent and supported decision maker help break that information down on a level that they can understand what's being presented. And then they make the decision. So that's the one thing to understand is that your child retains the power to make their decisions. And that's the beautiful part about the supported decision making agreement. Now, guardianship is a legal process that is designed where you're asking the court to appoint you as your adult incapacitated child's guardian so that you can continue to legally act on their behalf. When we all turn 18, we become our own legal guardian regardless of our level of function. So if your child functions at a level that they are not able to advocate for themselves, that they do not legally understand what they're signing, then chances are you're going to need to become the court-appointed guardian for your own child so that you can continue to act on their behalf. I know it's frustrating. You've been doing this for 18 years already, and then you have to turn around and spend $3,500 to keep doing this. But right now, it is the way the laws are set up in Texas.
So in state PR, this often comes up when we have a customer who is just turned 18, and we'll have the customer and the family member come into our office, and we have to have the customer sign their consent forms. They are now legally of age. And the parents go, well, what do you mean? I've been their guardian all their life. And I'm like, unless you have some other documentation The customer has to be the one that signs the consents and makes the decision. Of course, family can assist them. Sometimes they'll come in with saying, well, I've got a supportive document for education. It doesn't apply to state of the art. So that is how it comes up in our location. And it's very frustrating for families when we say, I can't even talk to you unless I get written consent from your 18-year-old who is our guardian.
Thank you for that. So I think of supported decision-making as a process where the student or the adult remains the decision maker, and there's somebody beside them interpreting medical, finance, key pieces that may need to be broken down, so that the adult or at that point, the adult can still make the decision, but with that support from the family or caregivers that they know are working on their behalf as well.
And I wanted to add, as far as the support decision-making agreement, you can go to Disability Rights Texas, as well as the ARC of Texas, and they have information on the website about the support decision-making agreement. And I believe that Disability Rights Texas has got some videos that you can watch, actually families using that. And I believe they will help you set up a support decision-making agreement. They have attorneys on staff there at Disability Rights Texas. And because this is a document that your child's going to have to sign, it actually has to be notarized to from a notary. So.
Thank you. And in the near future, our process, our IEP process within the schools will incorporate the option to review supported decision-making as well. So that'll be part of those conversations. Thank you, panel. So there's sometimes some misunderstanding around you spoke to this, you were talking about coming into your agency and the customer, the parent coming in thinking they're the customer, but the adult student is the customer at that point, right? So can any of you speak to what that looks like in the medical office? Like when you're at the doctor, what happens if it's different from 17 to 18? And how can families start to consider planning for that with purpose so that they are not shocked at that 18th doctor appointment?
So going to the doctor already, a lot of things going on, right? A lot of paperwork you have to fill it out. And yes, every patient, they have an account. And it's just the same with Molina Healthcare. If you have the Medicaid, you choose Molina, you have an account with Molina Healthcare. And then all of the information, if you are the guardian, your information also have to be in the account. We cannot release any information, especially medical information, to even if your information is not in the account, you're not legally, and we cannot release any information for you. So that's the way a lot of people try to call the doctor office or even call for example, the healthcare insurance to ask for information, try to schedule appointment, or submit some kind of request and things like that, but your information is not in the account. So we cannot talk to you. So that's the step that we talked earlier, that you decided you're going to be the guardian. Your information have to be in the account of the person you are doing the support to. And the same with the doctor office. They're going to do the same thing like that. Sometimes some doctor, they let you schedule appointment, but if you want to join with the patient, go to the doctor office, sometimes you cannot. You cannot be in the same room. So they're not going to let you join and have the conversation with the doctor if you are not a legal guardian. So, and that's why, even I have in my personal experience with my family, my brother-in-law, he is currently over 30 right now. He has disability and he has some limitation on some of the decision. But because my parent-in-law is just only like authorized representative, we just represent in some aspect, but we not represent everything on medical decision. So he's still gonna go to the appointment by himself, talk to the doctor about his symptom, all kind of that by himself. We cannot gonna join into and talk and share all of the information with the doctor. So that's why it depends on the individual that how support you need. If you feel that they have more limitation, you need to kind of like get more ownership on that, so that you have more authorization, so that you can talk to the doctor office and other representative as well.
Thank you for that. Are there any questions that families can take to their 17-year-old's doctor appointment that would be helpful as they consider what's going to happen the following year? Is there anything that they could ask the doctors or the office to be prepared for that shift in care from childhood pediatrician to adult care?
Well, just understand that, when they turn 18, that the doctors have to start following HIPAA. I mean, they have followed it all along, but I'm just saying that, I've heard of families like their child's part of the Texas Children's System. When they turn 18, you won't be able to log into that unless you're the guardian or unless you have a HIPAA release signed by your child. And that's the best way to think about the support decision-making agreement is a HIPAA release on steroids. Because by having that agreement, that gives you permission to go into the doctor's office and they're supposed to, again, you're hearing the information that's being presented to them, but your child is still going to be the one making the decision. But yeah, I mean, when they turn 17, if you're considering guardianship, I would go ahead and talk with the child, talk with your child's doctor. I always encourage families to talk to your child's doctor because sometimes you're on the fence whether to do guardianship or do an alternative to guardianship. Your doctor will be able to help you with that. If you look at the certificate of medical examination, and there's one on our website on the resources page, if you want to see what it looks like. But where the doctor has to go through, answer specific questions about what your child can and cannot do for themselves. And talking with your doctor is going to help you decide whether you should pursue guardianship or alternative guardianship. You're going to have the doctor's letter completed anyway for guardianship if you decide to go that route. So yeah, I certainly encourage you to talk with your child's doctor about that.
Thank you. So I'm gonna guess that, I do believe it to be true, that families are here, they want to learn, a primary concern is safety, right? Everybody wants their children to be safe and then as successful as they can possibly be. Are there, just in all regards, safety overall, are there things or supports through your agency that promote this general safety, whether it's behavioral, social, emotional, those pieces that families can ask about, or is there an agency here that could speak to just global safety for students in the home, outside of the home, and in general? It was a very broad question, and it wasn't on the form.
Well, when you think of safety, Boyd County actually offers a great service. It's called the Take Me Home database. If you have not registered your child for that, I encourage you to do so. It gives you a chance to let the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department know that your child has got an intellectual developmental disability. And then by having their name in that system, law enforcement runs their name through the systems and they pick them up to see if the child's in there, and then they'll see, okay, they've got autism, and here's mom and dad's contact information, then you get in touch with them. So if you've not registered your child for that, I encourage you to do so. Of course, guardianship is a process that's designed to help, it's not designed to help protect individuals. The beautiful thing too about guardianship is that it's not permanent. I mean, it's permanent, but it's fluid in that, if developmentally right now your child cannot make certain decisions, but they may mature more, they develop more, let's say they're not able to make certain financial decisions with more training, they learn that. They can be given that right back. And so know that the guardianship can always be modified, and then also rights can be given back to them if the doctor's in agreement that they are now able to do those things for themselves.
Thank you. What's the name of that organization again for Fort Bend County?
It's called Fort Bend County. It's the Take Me Home database.
Thank you. So that'd be something that if you have, and can they register with that at any age?
Yes. And there's a link to it on our resources page on our website, and you can just search Rasmussen Guardianship Services.org, and then check them out.
Very important if your student or if your child has a communication barrier or something that may be misinterpreted by a law enforcement officer or somebody in the community. So thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate that. So again, we all want our students to be and our kiddos to be as safe and successful as possible. So can you each share something that would be the next step to your organization? Then we talked about paperwork and case management. Can you talk a little bit about what they would need to do, what they would need to have when they make that call to reach out for services?
One thing to know about Texana, I guess, if you don't know anything else, is there are multiple programs and it's very, very complicated to know how each program is funded, how you access that program, who all is eligible for the program. I hear over and over from folks that have a parent say, well, I talked to my neighbor and she went to Texana and that's not what we want. Okay, well, went to Texana, what program was she in? There are multiple programs. Or I talked to my friend and she said we wouldn't be eligible for Texana. Well, unless your friend's worked for Texana for 15 years, she probably doesn't know. So, and when you hear Texana, please call in. And again, I gave you the scenario. Be ready with age diagnosis. Here are some things we're experiencing. Here's what we would like to have. Do you have anything that fits? Because we have services available to people all over the state. We have services available to people only in Fort Bend and Waller counties. We have services available to the 5 counties surrounding Fort Bend. We have services available to people all the way up in Montgomery and Liberty County. So you can see it, and all the way from newborn to past retirement age. So my advice is you hear Texana, call us and give us your scenario. Here's who we are, here's what we are experiencing, or here's the type of help we want. Can you help us?
For state vocational rehab, there's 2 main ways to come into our program. So first of all, we're a state agency. You know, fair amount of paperwork, right, for any state agency. So for students 14 to 22, there's 2 ways that you can come into getting what are called VR services. Pre-employment transition services can be offered to students in high school or college age 14 to 22. It's just pre-employment transition services. That's all they get. We don't help you find work. We don't help you pay for school. It's just to introduce you and get you to think about, do we want to go ahead and open a full case with state VR? So it's really good for the 14 to 15-year-olds to come in as what's called potentially eligible, because what 15-year-old, knows exactly what they can and can't do when they graduate from high school. At 15, you're going to hear football player, ballerina, all those things is what we hear for employment goals. So give the students an opportunity to explore and learn about self-advocacy. What's post-secondary? What is that? So learn those and potentially eligible, and then we can switch them to what's called the full VR case. So either way, the referrals come through the schools. Either high school, you're always welcome to go into an office. There's offices, 2 main offices in Fort Bend. Ours is the largest in Rosenberg. And then there's also a small office in Missouri City. So you can always go into an office and ask to open a case or to talk to a counselor about what services are available. And we do have a table here. There should be about 3 or 4 people over there that can answer any questions you might have if you don't already have a state-of-the-art case.
Yes, I want to add on, healthcare is complicated. I'm not saying it easy, and in order for so everybody, just as even the same like me, if you need help, you have to go to the right contact. So, for example, you currently have Medicaid. You should know that which health plan you are with. It's not just Medicaid is kind of a broad, it's like an umbrella, and under it, you need to know which. That because the government, they assign all different contractors that They can work for government on behalf. So for example, that's why I put Medicare organization, like we have to contract with government to provide the healthcare services. So it's just the same with in the healthcare. You have to know who is your healthcare representative, healthcare company, and then you have the ID card, the information on it. And if you have the insurance card, doesn't matter what type of insurance you should have the ID card on it. They have the information at the back for, if you see at the back of the card, they have a list of all of the key phone number that you can reach out. And you can see that one is the member service, one is behavior health, one is the nurse line, one is the social support, whatever like that, right? They have a ton of key number, and then yes, it depends on your needs. You have to reach out to the right department. Like, for example, like, and then if you have some kind of needs, you don't even know where to go get help. The first start gonna be reach out to the member service of the insurance company that you're having with. They can help you see if, oh, I want to see that doctor, but I don't know that they in network with my insurance or not. And you need to check that before you schedule appointment. It's not like, oh, that I know I need to see that specialist. Sometimes family doctor, they send you a refer, but they're not gonna help you to check to see that specialist is in network with your insurance or not. And sometimes you have to be the one who contact either your insurance or that doctor to verify that what type of insurance that provider accept. And that's the first step. And then, for example, you have other needs. For example, your child need a home health assistant. You need to, so you think that, oh, they need to have some more social activity. They need to go to like adult daycare center and things like that. You don't know if you are eligible or not. And everything is like, for when we talk about disability, we know that they have a different level, right? And every individual is different. That's why we have a case management, and they have to do assessment, everything. Like the first step, they're gonna do the assessment, and the assessment gonna be conducted every 3 months because life is changing. We never know what happened tomorrow. So every 3 months, they often reach out to you and need the assessment. And I will share the challenge right now is a lot of our case manager. When we try to do the outreach, to reach out to the family, nobody pick up the phone. So because we thought, oh, it's maybe scam, right? We don't know if this is the right person or not. Why do we talk to this person? Why do we release our medical information to them? So that is the challenge. So, for example, if you know, oh, you currently have Medicaid with Molina, you know that the case manager from Molina Healthcare going to contact you and ask some kind of question, interview you through the phone to know about your health situation. Is there anything you need? You're going to pick up that phone. But if you think that this is fraud, it's a scam, you're not going to pick it up. We cannot reach out to you, and we can provide the service that you need. And then you're going to be struggle, go all over the place to find who to get help with. So again, find the right contact is important. And normally for healthcare, the first point of contact going to be member of services. And then the member service is going to connect you with the case manager. And the case manager going to help you navigate and find the provider, all kind of the benefits that fit with your need.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to that. It is difficult sometimes because you know you're expecting a call, but your phone says it's spam, right? And so it can be a challenge. In working with parents over the years, I've seen that there's maybe a misunderstanding that families sometimes have who are employed. So they feel just the misunderstanding is that because I have a job, my husband has a job, or our family has employment, and we have benefits to those employments, that my child with a disability is not eligible for Medicaid. So is that something that any of you can speak to?
Well, like what I can maybe add to that is, prior to your child turning 18, Social Security does have to count for the family's income. Once your child turns 18, they no longer count for the family's income. They'll only look at your child's income. And if they are eligible for supplemental security income, that's the most common form of Social Security for those with intellectual developmental disabilities. Once they enroll in SSI, they actually are automatically enrolled in Medicaid at that same time.
So, for customers that are in what are called full cases, meaning that we're working towards employment and we feel as if there's a realistic employment goal, we offer benefits counseling, to any customer who has SSI. It's not specific to Medicaid, but the benefits counselor that we hire from outside of our agency can talk to what happens to benefits, how you can buy Medicaid. And as you all know, at age 18, things change. And our experience, unfortunately, has been it takes quite some time to get the adult benefits started after they turn 18. I don't know if you want to talk to that at all.
Yeah, sure. So like Medicaid, they have different programs depending on the age. For example, children under 18, they're gonna qualify for the Medicaid. If they have disability, they may qualify for the program called STAR Kid, like consider children, right? But then when they're over 18, but actually 21, they have to transition to a different, they still qualify for Medicaid. The government not gonna take away your benefit. They're still gonna qualify for Medicaid, but they're going to transition to a different Medicaid program, which is called Stop Plus. It's just the name of the program, but you're going to be aware of that because you have to start over. You have to choose the health plan again. And maybe you have to make sure that whatever doctor you are going to see, take that health plan. And they have a little bit changing on that. And the reason why the Medicaid changing from Stop Kit to Stop Plus is just because they look at the different need. Yes, when they are children, or they have different need. But when you become an independent, especially when you have disability, you have more need. That's why the Stapler is also called long-term care program. It's a long-term care program because we assign a case manager and we assist the individual or people with disability more to help them with more need. Navigate all kind of other resources. So that's why don't wait until you get to 21 to start the process. So I would recommend normally because the stapler is gonna kick in when your child turn 21 on the birthday. Exactly on the birthday of the 21 years old, they have the stapler instead of the start kit. And the transition, so maybe start from the 18, you already need to look around to see, okay, what type of paperwork that you need to fill it out so that you can have a smooth transition to a different Medicaid program. And then, do you want to keep the same current health plan or you want to change to a different health plan? Is there any other doctor or provider that you need to see, not just with the current one? So you have to check with the health plan that accepts other doctor. And then just also know that who's going to be the health plan, who's going to be the case manager, so that when you have the Medicaid established, you have all of the contact and you know where to go to get help.
So would it be correct to say that a family that has access to healthcare in other ways, who also has a student that has, or a child that has a lifelong disability, would be eligible potentially to apply for Medicaid benefits for the student or for the child based on their medical needs? So they're insured elsewhere, right? Or the family has insurance. Are they eligible still to apply for Medicaid services for their student based on funds the state's allocated?
So the Medicaid is a government assistance program, mostly is assist with family low income or people with disability. And Medicaid Start Plus is one of the programs that can assist individual with if you don't have disability, you have to be over 65. But if you're under 65 and you have disability, you may qualify for the Medicaid Start Plus. And at that time, like when you were turned, like you just mentioned, Kurt just mentioned, if you turn 18 already, they look at you individual. They not look at the parent income. And you can qualify for the Medicaid at that time. So it can be totally independent if they can qualify for that. And then they also have a different type of government program that assists with IDD family. They call Medicaid waiver. It means that they don't look at the income. They have some kind of guideline that they can waive. They don't look at income, and the most thing they look at the medical necessity, so that they can define you eligible or not.
Thank you so much for that. I just wanted families to make sure that they knew that that was an option when you have students or children who do have needs throughout their life and will continue to. And sometimes you have to apply twice or thrice, right? Sometimes there's things that the state's looking for specifically, but there are set aside funds in the state for supporting our students throughout their life. Okay, so listen, we're gonna open up shortly to questions from the audience here. So in maybe like 1 minute, what is something that you want to make sure this group hears from each of you before we go into questions from the audience?
So State VR is an eligibility-based program, meaning that the customer, other than potentially eligible, which is a pre-ETS, that you have to be eligible for services. There needs to be a disabling condition, impediments or limitations from that. They need VR services, and there's a reasonable outcome for competitive employment. So that's the big thing that I want people to hear. Often people come in and say, well, we just want to apply for, you guys to pay for college. We're not a scholarship program. We are an eligibility-based program that will help people with employment beyond finishing college.
I think I'm just gonna repeat the thing I said earlier in that if you have a need for your person who has a developmental disability, diagnosis of autism, a behavioral health diagnosis, please feel free to call in to Texana. Please call in to me. Let us know what your scenario is, and we'll get you to the right area of Texana that's able to offer services or supports your services in other areas, because it is overall the whole system, the guardianship and the medical coverage and so forth. Everything is a lot to manage, a lot to know about, and we're at Texana more than happy to help try to find out which of our services fit, or refer you to the folks who can help in areas that we're not able to provide services for.
Attend an information session around your child's 17th birthday. And then 17 and a half will be your next critical point as far as guardianship. At 17 and a half, if you're gonna apply for like our assistance program, please submit your application by that time. If you're not going to apply for the assistance program, then go ahead and look at retaining your own attorney. The type of attorney that does guardianship is actually a probate attorney. Many families people think that it's going to be a family law attorney. It's actually a probate attorney that handles adult guardianship. We have a list of guardianship attorneys on our resources page on our website. And I just wanted to mention on the assistance program that it is for Fulton County families only, and that it's a guardianship of a person non-contested case. And by non-contested, we mean that no one's going to object to you becoming the guardian.
Yeah, so I have a good news for you. So don't get overwhelmed, don't get stressed out. Because I know it's a lot of information, but we're gonna bring the information to you. It's just like a transition plan here. We not to talk about healthcare. We not just talk about employment. We bring all of the resources in one place, one-stop shop for you. So you have all of the information. It's just like healthcare. Like before, we do healthcare, but right now we have a separate department that called like member connector. And we partner with Texana, we partner with our provider, we work together. So we communicate. For example, like if you are a Molina patient, we're gonna know which provider you're seeing, what is your need, and we even connect you with Texana to get the resources in the community. So you get help, and we're gonna help you connect with the resources. So don't get overwhelming. It's just whatever you need, just speak it out loud or go search for it, and then you're gonna get the help you need. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
So I just want to thank you for that segue. I wanted to share that our team members here, if you see somebody with one of these shirts on today, these are the people who are also employed by the district that want to be a support in this process for you. We want to help be a connector to some of these resources, which is the plan and purpose for today. So thank you for that, very, very well stated. All of these members here, people in the white shirts, and then as you go out today on the grounds, you'll see the partners that we want to help connect you with for support for your adult students or younger here and in the future. So we have time for just a few questions, and we have Katie over here that's going to come with the mic. So if you have a question for one of these panelists, please go ahead and feel free to raise your hand.
I have a question for Mr. Clark. Can you repeat the last thing you said? Can you just repeat it again?
Sure. So what I had said was, I encourage families to attend an information session, one of our guardianship information sessions around their child's 17th birthday. And then if you're going to apply for our financial assistance program, you would do that when they're 17 and a half. If you're not going to apply for assistance, then go ahead and look at retaining a probate attorney when they're 17 and a half to go ahead and get the legal process started for guardianship.
Can you say something about one in the eye, not
About Morgan County, what the courts only hear the cases once your child turns 18. And in Morgan County, we have 6 county court of law judges. They're the judges that hear guardianship or the jurisdiction. So, like I said, because you're legally their guardian until they turn 18. The advantage of going and get started at 17 and a half is you get the application filed, you'll get the doctor's letter filed. There's a lot of what we call due process in guardianship, and one of those steps is the court is going to appoint an attorney ad litem, which is another attorney that's there to represent your child in the guardianship process. And please understand that their role is to represent what the wishes are of the child, not what's in their best interest. So just keep that in mind. Now, the ad litem will work for you. They'll either meet with you via Zoom or they'll come see you in person. But they're really there to meet your child and to talk with them. And it's okay if they're nonverbal. These attorneys have been trained, that they know some of those going through guardianship, they may be nonverbal and function well, and they will to fully communicate.
Any other questions? She's coming.
So my questions to Kirk as well. What are the obligations of the guardian, once the guardianship is, granted? And maybe one more question is, to apply for financial assistance, what are the conditions for that?
All right, those are great questions. So understand that when a court establishes someone as a guardian, they have a responsibility to continue overseeing that guardianship. And the guardian is required to file an annual report with the court every year. Your letter of guardianship that you receive once you're appointed as guardian, you're going to see that it has an expiration date on it. And that's why it has an expiration date, because they want to make sure you file an annual report. So let's say, for example, what's today? April 18th. So let's say you get appointed on April 18th. That means next year, when you file your annual report, you're going to file it starting, the earliest you can file it would be like April 19th, 2027. And it's going to cover April 19th, 2026 to April 19th of 2027. It covers a 12-month period. And it's a very straightforward form. You're just presenting information like you're confirming where they live, because they have to make sure they still live in Fulton County. If the ward moves to another county, then the guardian guardianship is supposed to transfer to that county. It's always based on where the board is living on for the guardians living. And, you're also just reporting, you know, like, are they going to the doctor, going to the dentist, you know, stuff like that. Like, it's a very straightforward one. As far as our assistance program, to qualify, we are able to help families up to 200% above the poverty level. I think for a family of 4 right now, it's around, I think it's around 66,000 or less, to qualify. It is based also on family size. So that amount is going to vary depending on the family size. Now, we do take into account assets as well. You know, if you have access to another piece of property, or you have, you know, savings accounts, you know, checking accounts, stuff like that. Because one of the forms the families have to complete is what we call an affidavit of inability to pay court costs. And this is actually presented to the court, the judge sees it, and you're presenting on this form all your sources of income, but also you're listing what your expenses are. And because this, by a court approving this, that waives filing fees, and it also has the county pay the cost in their line. So.
Part of our fair today, we also have several law firms that are down the hallway here that can kind of answer some of those questions as well if you're looking to partner with somebody there. From what I understand, it's a rather affordable path, and guardianship is something you're choosing. And then remember, there's also disability rights here today that can talk to you a little bit more about supportive decision making when you're just wanting some guardrails and support for your adult student or your adult, while they also retain the right to make those decisions. So I'm out of time, friends. So, but I appreciate your questions and your engagement today. We want to partner with you in this process. Like we said earlier, transition is a process. It starts at birth, and there's different layers as you go. So each of these panelists, thank you so much for your time today. We have these thank yous for you that we're going to pass down to you. You'll notice that there's a card lovingly made by our students, along with a shirt for today, and there you go. We just appreciate your service to families and to Fort Bend community.
Being passed out, we have one of our program managers passing out a survey for you. That's for that Texana. If you all would take some time to fill that out at some point today on your way out of the fair, if you can just drop that off at the front tables. That would be really helpful for them. They need that data just for the debate. Thank you all so much.
Okay, before you go to the 60 vendors that are here today, does anybody like prizes? Wait, okay. Oh, you like prizes. Okay, so I need somebody to look under I need to look under your chairs. If you have a green sticker under your chair that has a number 1, you win a $50 HEB gift card. You have a number 1. I hope somebody's sitting there. And check a chair next to you if there's nobody sitting there. Who has this number 1 green sticker? Did we forget that part? No, just kidding. Find the sticker, friends. Let's see. Did we do the stickers, Ms. Jacobson? Did we do the stickers? Yeah. Okay, do we have a number 1 sticker yet? Okay, do we have a number 2 sticker? Oh, number 2. Okay, number 2, you are going to get dinner for 2 at Outback Steakhouse. This is one of our partners for work-based learning, and they were gracious enough to give this to us. So if you have sticker number 2, please come down and get your certificate for dinner at Outback Steakhouse. All right. Do you have somebody you're going to take with you? Oh, okay. You guys came to the right place. Thank you so much. All right. Congratulations. Okay, so we haven't found. Did we find sticker number 1 yet? Okay. How about sticker number 3? You have. Oh, are you serious? You have sticker number 3. Okay, can I tell you what she won today? I mean, can you guess? This is soccer. You get to go with 3 family members, so there's a total of 4 tickets and go to go watch a professional soccer game. What do you think about that? Awesome. Congratulations, very good, very good. Glad you guys won that. If we have another one, we'll give that away today. And I'll just let you know, if you are here today, throughout the day, they're going to be giving door prizes, and they're really good door prizes. I'm gonna let Abby Jacobson talk about what that looks like. And we will go from there.
Hi everyone, my name is Abigail Jacobson. I am the program manager of the Adult Transition Services, so I do know some of you here. Thank you so much for coming. We have a lot of great vendors, a lot of new vendors as well, and we always encourage that, even if you've talked to somebody before, talk to them again. There's always new information out there. So the door prizes are going to be passed out every 15 minutes. You were given a ticket when you came in. We will be announcing that number over the intercom, so listen up. You do have to be present to win. The door prizes are located when you enter the vendor area. There's going to be a table to your left. That's where the prizes are going to be. We have things like a 2-night stay at a hotel. We have artwork from some of our students. We have really a great wide variety of door prizes to hand out. So please be sure to hit up every table that you can. Don't skip anything. There's a lot of great information out there. Thank you so much for coming today. It's really, really great. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Have a great
All right. Thank you, everyone. If you could exit out before we leave, that would be wonderful. Thank you.